So today we're going to talk about ethical issues and specifically ways of dealing with them. So what are the ethical guidelines? You've done these already. These are rules that are made to protect the participants in a study. These rules are created by the BPS and these are the group, the British Psychological Society. Informed consent is where you get people to sign to take part in your study. We've got right to withdraw, where people should be allowed to withdraw at any time. We've got protection from harm, where you should protect your participants from mental and physical harm. We also have briefing and debriefing, where you need to tell them exactly what happens beforehand and debrief them afterwards. We've got deception, where you shouldn't tell them any fake things or any lies. Anonymity and confidentiality, where you should keep the participants and their information confidential and away from everybody else. So the question is, how do we actually deal with these issues? With informed consent, a participant who might be vulnerable, you could get their parent or guardian or carer to consent on their behalf. These people might include children, elderly, people with learning disabilities or mental health issues. For right to withdraw, we have the fact that we need to give them a briefing at the beginning, make sure they really know that, and allow them to leave freely whenever they ask. So don't make any comments to encourage them to stay. If they ask to leave, they can leave. Protection from harm is usually dealt with by debriefing participants after and offer them counselling if they need it. And a key thing for briefing and debriefing is make sure participants actually stay for the debriefing and don't leave before. With deception, we have specific ways in which we deal with these. The first one is prior general consent, and that means that you ask participants if they would like to take part in a study that might contain deception, and then a few months later you ask them to take part, and if they've agreed to do so, then obviously you can use them. The next type is presumptive consent, and essentially you ask a group of very similar participants if they would do it. You give them all of the details, and if they say they agree, then it gives you an allowance to actually deceive the other participants who you are going to use. And then we also have debriefing, where if you've deceived participants, then you just need to make sure you give them the full details of the study at the end. For anonymity and confidentiality, you need to give participants pseudonyms, which is a fake name, or participant numbers, which is easier, in order to keep their details anonymous. And for confidentiality, not use obvious details about participants. So for example, if you were writing a report about Lingfield College, you would make sure you didn't say Lingfield College, you would say a private school in Lingfield, which doesn't sound massively confidential, but that's the way to get around it. So, a short and sweet one, but thank you very much for listening. I hope you understand more about ethical issues.
Created using Powtoon.